Cormac, this is a review of your lesson from September 18th of 2020. We spent a lot of time on the lesson looking at the Glasgow Police Piper's Jig parts 1 and 2. And a couple of things I need you to focus on is watch that you don't take breaths after every triplet or even after every two triplets if you don't need to. I would like your goal to be that you can at least play on one breath until this every 2 bars. So until here and then here and then, as we discussed in the lesson, every 2 bars minimum. But if you can make it past 2 bars, go for it. Another thing that I would like you to do is memorize parts 1 and 2 of this tune. I know you can do it. It's just going to take some time. And so what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to record for you Glasgow Police Piper's Jig at 33 beats per minute with the triplets delineated for you. You can hear that. So I'm going to play the entire first 2 parts with repeats. So here we go. It's going to be like this. I'm going to say ready, 1, 1, 2. So that's the first 2 parts of Glasgow Police Piper's Jig. Have fun with that. The next thing that we talked about was the high A doubling scale. Now this rendition of it is a little different from the one you are looking at in your binder. I believe I wrote it out by hand. But this is high A doubling, right? And you may recall that we discussed in the lesson that the high A doubling, the value of the high A here that's shown as a quarter note is not the same as the value of time that we spend on this first high A grace note. And so, for example, in Glasgow Police Piper's Jig, right, the high A's are, generally speaking, even or close to even. These are eighth notes with flags on them. Looks like our focus is a little bit off. Flags or dots, but here it's a doubling. So the whole point of this, and the metaphor we used was the chili sound. That is the grace, the doubling has the sound of the word chili, like this. So we go from a melody note to chili, so chili, chili, like that. So it sounds, that's chili. And the whole point of using the word chili to help us feel the rhythm of this doubling is that the first syllable of chili is quick and the second one is long. So we're holding the second high A, which makes sense if you look at the music. So the scale comes out like this. So I want you to work on the high A doubling scale in that manner. The other thing that we reviewed in the lesson was exercise number 3 of Rhythmic Fingerwork book. And in your version of this, it's at the top of this page here. In your version of this, I did write out the names of the notes, these triplets, to help you sort it out. It's very important that you can play this. It's going to help you with your sight reading. It's also going to help you with your note transitions. For example, in the first bar, we have low G to B to D. That transition, those transitions can challenge our fingers if we aren't careful. And what I mean by that is this. Here's what we want it to sound like. But sometimes if we're not careful, going from low G to B, it might come out like this. And that's because we're not lifting the B finger and the pinky at the same time. We're making a small, unwanted low A before going to the B. We don't want that. So we need to have a super duper clean transition. From the side view, same thing goes from B to D. We do want is this. Nice and clean, but sometimes we accidentally play a C in between the B and the D, and it sounds like this. We do not want that sound. We want a clean transition. That is what you should be listening for when you play this exercise. So I'm going to set the metronome to 30. And these will be our transitions. So we'll go a little slower, maybe 28. So every click that you hear will be a note, one of these notes in the exercise. So I'm going to say ready and here. If that is too fast for your comfort level right now, YouTube lets you slow down the speed that this plays back, and I would encourage you to take advantage of that. Set it at 75% and really work through this. This is a very important exercise for you right now. Have fun with Glasgow Police Piper's jig. Have fun with exercise number 3. Have fun with the chilies, and I will see you next week.